start streaming. And we are continuing development of Pangea's new map, the Pangea Major Reboot. So, just let me know, for those of you who are already on, thank you for joining. Let me know if sound is good and everything like that. Let's see here. Got some areas that need some actual development today. My description says it's starting to take shape. Alright. So, welcome everybody. We're going to be doing some more map development today. So, I'm actually just going to get right into it because I've worked on a couple areas since the last stream. And there's a lot more still that needs to be done. So, let's take a look at this. Turn off the fog because it makes it easier to tell. So this is Horseshoe. This is Dinosaur Provincial Park, Cloverly, Hell Creek, all of Morrison, the Giant Volcano. This, we'll work on, what is this, what's this called? Kim Kim. I don't know why I blanked on that. So many people spend time in Kim Kim. Alright, let's do this. Sculpt. Let's get a texture here. Let me make sure. I had more dune textures than that. Oh, here it is. Let's do this. This is going to need some actual height readjustment. But I can start to test it now with this. Planning to release new patch with new features? Yes, actually, I am. I'd like to get it done a little sooner, but the soonest I'd say that I would tell you guys about is a couple months in August, because there's still quite a bit to be done, but I've also done quite a lot this week off stream. There are plenty of new features that are coming with this build, and I'm going to try not to show them off today because big stuff. but I don't want to show off every single thing before it's time to actually showcase all that stuff. So a lot of today will be map development, but I will show a peek at one improved feature. Oh wow, this desert is enormous. And I'm also going to work on a couple of new things to make the gameplay a little smoother. Like I plan on doing footprints. And one of the reasons is Raiden, I don't know if Raiden's here, but Raiden made footprints for like so many different types of dinosaurs years ago. And I kind of got some of them implemented, but not all of them. So rather than leave it like that, I wanted to actually start to add them in. Alright, let me use the speed up button. Yeah, I think this works as pretty well as a desert. There's going to be some elevation changes further and further on, but size of the desert is pretty reasonable. Let's see. Just trying to test out all the areas of the desert. You know, I'll keep smoothing because it's still pretty rough in certain places. But I still want to maintain much of the shape. Maybe a little erosion. Let's see what that would look like. Press some of the areas, but that's fine. Yes, I programmed the whole game myself, and I do make pretty much all of the animations, although one of the modelers, Etch, makes animations for a few of them. But primarily most of the models are made by Raiden and also by Etch. Which I don't know if either of them are in the stream. Etch, it's been a long time since Etch has been in a stream because she's on the other side of the world. But yeah, I do most of the stuff in the game and definitely all the Unreal Engine side of the work. Alright, let's see. So when you get an environment like this, there needs to be some foliage. Thank you. There needs to be some foliage scattered in certain places to help make the look a little more convincing. Okay. Yeah, it's like some grass here and there. And this will also be where certain foliage is allowed to grow. Hey! J-Dink, it's good to see you. Yeah, there's a lot in store, and I'm gonna do my best not to accidentally reveal something like I did the last stream. Let's see here. What could I add to this area? Make this a little browner, I guess. Change a little bit of the look of this part of the desert. We'll smooth some of that away. constantly save because I crashed so many times this week. But yes, I do plan on showing change with AI dinosaurs that it's going to make playing against them a lot more challenging, to say the least. Because one thing our AI has been is either been too aggressive or too ridiculously simple. And I toned down the aggression a little, but the simple-mindedness I'm trying to fix. With making the fleeing a lot smarter. Because they really don't run away from their threats very intelligently. Let's just say that. How long have I been developing and using software like this? I've been working in game development for about 12 years. Professionally, like as my job, for 7 years. So I've been doing this since I was a kid. And got right into it as an adult. But yeah, I've been using like Blender to model and animate since I was 15. It's almost half my life ago now. And Unreal Engine I was using it off and on from 17 to 20, and then I use it all the time since I've been 20. Like, this is my primary game engine for everything. Okay. Oh yeah, it's definitely been worth it. I mean, it's definitely paid bills. Working in the game industry, it's what I love to do. Really good technical animator. Worked for big studios doing this. But this is my game, so I had to do more than just my professional skill set. I had to do the stuff that was outside of my comfort zone. So I had to become a little more of a general developer for a game like this. Carcharodontosaurus is a little slow for me to check the terrain of this landscape. But then maybe that's a good thing because it'll give you an idea of how long it would take to cross something like this. This is a Carcharodontosaurus. If you recognize that roar, it's one I did as an homage to something else that has a Carcharodontosaurus in it. So. Carcharodontosaurus in this game is 8 tons or 16,000 pounds, so that's why up here I have 16,000 for its health. But it's on the lower end of the big predators when it comes to like its natural aggression. And you'll see what that means in short order. Are you planning to start a test server as well? Yes. So the thing is, I'm not sure how I'm going to host servers just right now when this goes live. I have tested it in the past just using my own machine, and it worked just fine. So I might end up having to do that. We don't usually have enough concurrent players on the game to justify a whole bunch of servers running at the same time. But then it's kind of like, is that why we don't have a bunch of concurrent players at the same time? Chicken and the egg kind of thing. But regardless of whether or not that's the case, I plan to start hosting the servers myself, or giving them to other people to host. So that way, at the very least, some things can be tested. Let me actually message Raiden real quick, just so he can see the Epanterius in motion, because it's his model. Oh, you're here? I wondered if you were. But yeah, I just got it in like this morning. Started testing it out. It's using Saurophagan X as a base. It looks pretty stupendous, I'd say. And of course, everybody's favorite skin. Okay, you bought it 2.5 years ago? Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. The game looks pretty. I appreciate that too, because I put a lot of effort into making the graphics look as good as my computer can handle running it. I know you guys like to play with your friends, so that's one thing I'm going to try and work back towards. But also, a lot of the work I've been doing has been geared towards making the single-player experience of the game better, because, you know, for how many issues I had trying to get multiplayer working, I still didn't invest enough in single-player work, in single-player gameplay, to make it, like, worth it. There's going to be a big amount of changes to this. Like, let me show you guys something. So this area here is populated with so many different types of trees at so many different types of elevations. You know how long this took me to do? I didn't place these trees individually. Obviously, that would be a nightmare. And I didn't even use the foliage painting tool. This took me like a couple minutes. Like, literally, just tweaking the settings of these a couple minutes. These redwoods only grow at a certain elevation. Except some of that can be right on top of something it doesn't need to. These monkey puzzles only grow at a certain elevation. And then below that, palm trees only grow at a certain elevation. So, with just a little bit of data, I was able to populate this area very quickly. You know, this isn't obviously the final look of the area, but I was able to populate this area very quickly. I do not have to worry about coming back and checking whether or not there are trees in this environment. And when I need to tweak something, it'll be very quick. So the development of this is actually proceeding a lot faster than I originally thought. And one of the reasons I decided to go with this method for foliage placement is because some of you know there's going to be sky islands in this game, because I absolutely love sky islands. They're one of my favorite, you know, fantasy world building pieces. So there's going to be, you know, angelic dinosaurs in the skies. And if you know anything about making a game with sky islands, is placing foliage manually or painting it manually is a nightmare. And so rather than place all of this foliage individually, like on this little test sky island, I can just click a button and it'll add itself to it whenever I need. So obviously the sky island trees are going to be slightly different than this. But that's just, you know, how I plan to make it going forward is, it just makes it so much easier to add a buttload of trees and not have to worry about, you know, did I cover the area well? Because, like, this whole region right here that is populated with foliage is just the Morrison. Now, this was a big thing to do, like, a big area. So it took a while for it to completely add all the foliage, but it just makes it so much easier going forward. Makes me wonder why I avoided using this tool back in the day. But no, it's not perfect. Yes, it needs a lot of extra stuff to, you know, fill out this area here, but with just a couple minutes worth of work, the environment is actually recognizably set up for gameplay. Like, there's real trees that you can really interact with in the world. Also, somebody might notice, I don't know if Zeno is in the chat, but the stamina reduction, I divided it by 10, so you have a lot more stamina to work with. That may not be the final number. I might divide it by 4, I might divide it by 5, but you have a lot more stamina to work with. Because the map is so much bigger, you got to get across it if you want to go to different areas in the same formation. So, I'd like to show a little bit of the AI changes that I've made. Well, if you're saying you play frequently, if I hosted a server, then you better believe I'm going to try and host servers when I get it back up and running. I don't want to fight a bunch of anatosaurs. That's no fun. And fighting stegosaurs really isn't fun. Let's do something simple like Tenontosaurus. We're going to spawn. Are AI going to be formidable in terms of combat and hunting? That is actually what I've been working on. They definitely went up a peg. Like, for sure. Actually, let me add 4. I'm going to add 4 of those and then play as a Carnotaurus. I'm going to make the area a little larger, 15,000. So, when I walk into the sphere, they're going to spawn. Oh, thank you. Well, Raiden made the Epanterius model, the Aloe model, so he deserves the credit for how it looks. I just make it move. Okay, so that's a health boosted Tenonto. That looks like a damage boosted one from here. I think that's a speed boosted one. And then that, I can't tell, is that a health boosted or a regular? It looks like a regular. So, obviously, the one I'd want to fight would be... the speed-boosted one would probably be able to outrun me if I attacked it. Let's see if he'll fight back. Oh! He's coming at me. And... here comes the damage-boosted one. He's trying to fight me, and now he's running away. Oh, I think this guy might be stuck. I've noticed this bug as of earlier today. AI can get stuck trying to run away from you, but I did make it better in that their running away is a little more fluid. They don't all gang up on you unless you attack the leader of the group. So this Tenonto actually has more health than I do because he's health boosted, which means he has twice as much health as a regular Tenonto. So he's like 8,000 health. Reason he's running away is because this new oh, I'm in the way. Let me move this. There's a new meter right here that is your threat level. Yes, it is going to be very unique because instead of just, fighting and seeing what's going to happen, there are actual parameters that determine, and I'm only showing one right now, which is this highlight that happens around your character when you roar. That's a new feature. It's a buff. And there will be different buffs that you can apply during the gameplay. And the way you discover those buffs is something you'll have to figure out. You gotta be careful when you're fighting a damage boosted because, no joke, a damage boosted Utah can defeat an Epanterius. Like, it can defeat a Carno. Like, if you're not careful, a pack of them will quickly overwhelm you, even if only 2 of them are boosted. Did you notice that? Did anybody notice that? When I roared at him, he turned around and ran away. That's a part of the buff feature. Yes, like thank you, Raiden, for the suggestion, because it really was like 4 hours or 5 hours worth of work, and the system was up and running, because it really was just going to be however many members are in your pack, that's how, you know, they determine how to fight. But this works so much better because it's dynamic. It's based on the health, it's based on your attacker's threat level, it's based on any additional buffs this animal has applied. It's so much better. Yeah, you can run all you want now. It's over. But the thing about the threat system is it only works when you see your character has been highlighted with the buff feature. So now that there's only one Tananta left, he got scared. Hey, brave one. Oh, are you really trying to fight me now? The buff does wear off pretty quickly. So this is not something that you can use to just intimidate every AI around you. It only works for a short time to keep them off of you. And it also helps you, you know, snag your kill and leave. This one might be a little more aggressive because he's health boosted, which means he thinks he's a lot stronger. Also, you don't have to worry about the AI bodies despawning when you leave the AI spawn area, because they are subtracted from the list when they die. Let me see if I can show another one of these with Dryosaurus, because that's what I was testing with earlier. A Dryosaurus running away from an Epanterius, and it took a long time for me to catch that Dryosaurus. I think Epanterius and Dryosaurus have the same run speed. So when I was chasing that one, I just had to wait for it to make a mistake. Alright. Let's see. Now, they have been malfunctioning a bit as of later today, where they might not notice me. Which is just some more work I have to do. Let's choose a green skin, because I really like this green Epan. Let's see if they notice. Whichever one notices me is the one I'm going to run from. I'm going to chase after. You see that? He's really keeping himself at top speed. And if I don't turn around quickly enough, I've lost all my advantage in catching him. Okay, he might despawn, because he's going to run outside of the circle. Because he's literally running along the border. Update. You coward, you ran outside the circle to save yourself. I'll go get one inside the circle. One of these guys should notice. What exactly did happen to the rest of them? There's one. Yes, I can show some macro gameplay. I know there is some in the most recent trailer. It hasn't changed too much since then. Yeah, I bet I know how that happened. I chose the furthest distance rather than... Okay, I see why it didn't update the circle size based on the one that ran outside. You see how they keep flocking back to this one? I'm actually chasing their leader. Or I think I am, because it should be updating around them, but they keep running outside of the circle. So I'm just going to get that one because he's not paying attention. Hey, you go ahead and bleed out because you're toast. Now, Epan doesn't have eating animations yet. Like I said, he was added just this morning. But you can eat stuff just by picking it up and pressing E. Oh! This guy might have too much health. It's based on their weight, so if he weighs too much, I can't eat him, so I might have to kill another one. Yeah, he probably will. If you notice Epan's threat meter on the right, it's actually slightly higher than Carcharodontosaurus right now. And it's because Epan, despite being a lot smaller, is way, way, way more aggressive for its size. And obviously, I just made these values. They're not done. So they're not done just yet. But there we go. See, I was able to eat that one. So cool. So now to pick up, we only need to click eat. No, you still click with you still pick them up with the bite, but you can eat them when they're small enough with by pressing E. So let's see if I can run that scenario again. I do think Epan is going to be one of the most optimized builds, obviously. Oh, you're toast. I'm not letting you get outside this circle. But you see how he just keeps running? He doesn't stop? That's what I've been wanting the fleeing mechanic to be like. Yeah, come on, I almost got you. He's going to try and get out of this circle. But he's actually widening the circle now. So you're not going anywhere. Come on. Almost had him. Got him. You see how difficult that was? In any other version of this game, if you tried to chase something like that, you'd have it in under a minute. Now I can let him go and he can bleed out. And he's going to collapse real soon. Oh, he hung in there. Well, I can't let him survive that. That's the first time I've grabbed a Dryosaurus where it didn't die from the bleed after. See how he keeps getting away? He's just a snake. There we go. Got him. The only reason he survived that is he was health boosted. Will we be able to toggle our own aggression levels through combat and species? Or are they set for each species? So they are. There is a default aggression amount which you cannot change, but your aggression does scale dynamically. through your health values and whatever buffs you have applied. Now, I guess there could be a debuff for aggression where smaller, more annoying things may want to attack you because you've lost aggression points. But so far, right now, most things only lose aggression by simply being injured or being alone. So there will be like an aggression minimum for your group size. So like raptors will have negative aggression, an aggression deficit if they aren't in a pack. But if they are in a pack, then they'll be up to their default. And some animals will be unaffected, like ankylosaurs aren't going to be stronger in a group because they're very solitary. Let me see, what else do I want to show? Oh, I can show this because I just started fixing some issues on this today. But I know there's somebody in our Discord who has been asking for pouncing to come back, and now it is. It does not break the collisions in the game when you jump on something else. It just took a little bit of digging to figure out what I was doing wrong. And the only reason it's broken right now is because I decimated the stamina decay rate, so you can stay up there until you basically wear out this poor creature, because he doesn't stand a chance of fighting back. He's almost there. And it's over. Yes, I do. I think so too, and you can thank Raiden for that, because it was based on a suggestion he made about combat numbers for AI, so that they could determine how they fight. But yeah, a lot of creatures really, really benefit from having a group, and some creatures they don't care, how many are in the group. They are going to they're going to run away or fight back. So let me see. Who do I want to play as? Acrocanthosaurus, and then I'll set the group spawner to Tenontosaurus again. Yes. My kitten wants to say hi. This is Frankie. Hey, Frankie. Let's see here. Love playing Acrocanthosaurus because its movements are so solid. Alright. You see how it doesn't really matter in that case. The Tenonto is terrified. Yes, Frankie is adorable. Problem is, I can't catch a Tenonto just running him down like that. So I'm going to have to ambush a different one. Oops, no crouching animations. Okay, that one's not looking, so I'm just going to go up behind him. So that one's definitely not the group leader, because he's running back to his group leader because he's too far away, which is another thing I just programmed. But I hope he doesn't tip his group leader off. Alright, one strong bite. So I'm trying to separate him from his group. I think that's the group leader down there. Hold up. Hold up. I'm noticing something. I'm noticing that the area isn't changing like it used to. Like, I don't see the sphere moving around, which makes me wonder what is wrong with that. With enough skills and debuffs, can it be possible for an acro to contend with Apex Carnies, or is it? It's already possible for an acro to contend with the Apexes. The acro is just a tier below them. If you use bleed right and you get the drop on someone, you can contend with a higher weight class. But it wouldn't take that many buffs to get into that category, because it's only below like Carcharodontosaurus, which is one of the smaller apexes. Okay, so I guess if you take out the one in the array, get, maybe I should do get for valid index, or let me check something real quick. Okay, so I guess it's possible when the first one in the group is toast that this happens. So I need a little more observation of this in action. Cool, I'm glad. There's a lot. Yeah. Okay, so now the area is changing. And now it's stopped. Oh, there it goes. Which one is actually the... It's this one. Oh, one bite around the neck is all it took. And now his poor herd members are coming to follow his lead, and they're gonna find him eaten. Yes, that's why I chose that one. Because I knew it would be cool. There's an Edmarca spawner. Oh, those are those spawners over there in the original test area. I like testing with Stego, because Stegos are good herding animals and they put up a big fight. So let's test it with a Rex. I've also been testing a lot with Daspletosaurus. Are you planning to add a growth system? No, we actually aren't, because pretty much every other dinosaur survival game does that, so we wanted to do things differently. We do plan to add juvenile and infant dinosaurs in the game in the form of AI. They will be NPCs that you have to protect, but not necessarily play as. T-Rex's bite now only does 5% of stamina drain. So this is going to be broken for a while. But the Stego's faster, so I can't even catch it yet until I get up to top speed. Almost got him. I plan to add a desperate strength sort of thing into the game where certain species actually become more aggressive the lower they are on health. Which, you know, makes sense. Some creatures are gonna, you know, have that do or die moment. So they're gonna put up more of a fight when they're desperate. Actually, I decided to go with one vocal because most dinosaurs didn't have multiple vocals, and they weren't actually being used. Yes, it was going to be ceratopsians. The vocals weren't actually being used most of the time. So I was like, well, why not give them a vocalization, kind of like Primal Carnage, where it does something, and it's just one vocalization. I will consider more in the future, but I think there will be other ways to greet scenarios with other players. And he didn't even notice me. You see, now they're fighting back because I didn't roar at them first. I might even do a thing where for your aggression, it might impact your attack speed. It might impact your attack strength as well. Like for a Tyrannosaur, obviously it's going to impact the strength. So I'm going to have a holding bite attack, and that attack, it can already one-shot most of the roster in the game if it gets it around the neck. But having it where it can one-shot pretty much any animal in the game, that's going to be good. Oh, get up. Yes, the roar does work. The only thing is I want them to be able to update almost immediately with that roar. Sometimes they have to, you know, wait a couple of seconds before they check again. You're the target. I can't believe it spawned a whole bunch of damage boosted stegos. Oh, I have to have more than 50% stamina to perform that attack, so it doesn't matter that I nerfed the stamina reduction. Yeah, bleed damage buff sounds good for Kark, and then buff on the roar. Yeah, I can see the kinds of buffs that can become widely available based on that. Like Deinosuchus, maybe it'll make it move faster on land and be able to carry bigger things. So it'd be like its charge out of the water, but on land. Let's see here. Let's see. What do I want to fight now? Maiasaura. I really should go take this part to Dinosaur Provincial Park, but it doesn't have any foliage yet, just grass. Like no trees and stuff. Thank you, the brave one. Oh, they immediately despawned and went to a different area. gotta be careful because I've actually been killed by Myosaurus by being unsuspecting. Okay, that was one bite. That was one bite. Yes, there was a plan for the icon for the roar. I was going to just do an audio symbol, but I was like, that's cheap. I want it to at least be one dinosaur roaring. If not, each species has their own icon. But notice now they're not fighting back because I took out 2 of the herd members, so now they're like, hey, our numbers are down. And obviously you can't just reasonably catch a speed-boosted Maya unless he slows down and stops moving. I wonder if I buffed myself all the way. Which I'm going to get rid of this system because obviously with the new buffs this won't be necessary. But I wonder if I buff myself all the way, can I pick up a Maya? Nah, it's still too big. And I have to change that text where it cuts out the word AI, it cuts out BP for blueprint, because it cuts out C for a class instance, because you have Arnatosaurus, you have Masora, you have Archarodontosaurus, because it cut out certain letters from the system. I need to fix that. Even a health boosted Maya doesn't feel like fighting back. Look how slow I am just because of that size boost. Almost had you. But yeah, this goes in line with the what is it called? The insta-kill system. Remember that one from 4 years ago. The insta-kill system is going to allow you to take down targets that are much, much weaker than you once you've gotten them down to a certain level. So I guess the way I'll do it is each species will have an aggression level that once they're below that, they can be insta-killed by creatures with a higher, insta-kill level. So the way it'll work is if you get a Triceratops who has a threat level of 16, if you get it down below 10 as a Rex, then you can absolutely use an insta-kill animation on it because it's probably already weak and alone at that point. If its insta-kill number is that low, or if its threat level is that low, you can probably already take it out. I was wondering if Pangea's Rival will be playable one day on mobile in GeForce Now. Just curiosity, many of my games only have good phones. Their PCs are not good ones. I think you mean your friends. It's something I could consider, as long as it was like streamed on there, but I know that that's not really ideal for a multiplayer game. But it's something I can consider when the game is further along. Like this map is done and most of the playables are back in with all their mechanics. Because I definitely understand not having the PC you need to play the game you want. That was me with Primal Carnage when I was 15. Oh great, he despawned. But I think it's time to go back to a little map development. Yeah, this is good here. Let's, I guess, work on this area. First, I'll do this to make sure that the area covered with its primary texture. Some sand, maybe not all the way. And then a little bit of grass. Smooth away some of the sand here. That's something. Well, as long as I can get it on something that makes it more accessible to people, I will. Because what's the point of having a great game if nobody knows about it? Maybe not that much. Little erosion. Little erosion. And then I'll smooth it out. Level. That should be a good start. Are you focusing on realism for the map or creating stylized parts of your creation? It's kind of a mix of both. I mean, realism in that I want the environments to look like they fit, but stylized in that, yeah, we got sky islands and an underworld, so it's not that realistic. But I just want more verticality in the map. The last Pangea map had a good amount of verticality. It just wasn't very optimized in the way I decided to design it from the beginning. So I'm looking for more optimization and better setup for me to do stuff like caves. Also, more optimization means I can throw more stuff in there, like the Sky Islands and the Underworld, because there weren't that many in the Pangea major map, and the Underworld section was very, very small because it couldn't sustain having another map that big. So yeah, these regions are absolutely enormous now, but they need to still feel like, like there's some actual sense of scale in them, which you can't just do by making it big. You have to actually design the world a certain kind of way. And I learned that on the Pangea Major map, the first Pangea Major map. So there's going to be a lot of iteration on this over the next 2 months or so to make sure that the release version looks just a lot more populated, a lot more lived in by the dinosaurs. Obviously, if there's going to be caves and underground, not even just underground like the underworld, but like underground tunnels and stuff like that, then you gotta take your time and make sure that they make sense where they are, and that you're pretty confident that the landscape isn't going to change too crazily, because you don't want to build a tunnel that leads out to another exit area and then you destroy the mountain after. So the first thing is to make sure that the surface layer feels good. Then I add caves and sky islands, and then after that I do an underworld. And of course, I still have the task ahead of me of fixing all the dinosaur materials, which are horrendously unoptimized, both as a design standpoint of the material itself, then the fact that there's so many materials on each dinosaur. The draw calls are just insane on this. Yes, this game kind of already is online multiplayer. You just have to start the server yourself. But it is planned to have hosted servers. At the very least, I'll be hosting them and leaving them on even when I'm done, playing myself. Well, it's not really about there being too many things to add. I developed some pretty big worlds already that are expansive and have a lot of, quality in them. The issue with people not wanting to migrate, I think, is just that they can just choose a non-migratory species. Like, some areas don't change. But I'm sorry, if you're like Pachyrhinosaurus, you're gonna go, let me turn off the fog so people can see. You're gonna go from here all the way down to about here. And if that doesn't seem too long because you're comparing it to Pangea Major, that's a long stretch. That's a huge amount of area, and then you got to cross where it's an ocean that's going to be here. So let me just see if I could do an accelerated version of that. Herbivores, marginalocephalians, Pachyrhinosaurus. Now, I'm going to try and do this with a lot more speed, so I'm going to give myself full food and full water. So with full food and full water, how long could I travel across this area? Let's see. Because we've been talking about Pachyrhinosaurus migration since the game, before the game even had its first demo. So I think it's time to look into this. Oh no, I'm gonna careen down the mountain. Now obviously you wouldn't even be able to travel this fast because there's gonna be a set path down the mountain. Alright. I'm thinking I'll add a mini-map in. I have a mini-map system in my other game. And I did just get teleportation between map elements working just fine. Entirely. So yeah, I might just port that over to this one. Actually, I think the system might already be in Pangea. I think it was in Pangea first. I'm going 100 miles an hour because of that sliding downhill mechanic. So, started at the top of that mountain, which isn't really that big. And I've already lost 3% of my water. This is at my top speed running. So now it's time to just speed it up times 20. Whew, that was close. Now, can I even get down from here? Which is something you're going to have to ask yourself when you're migrating. I'll go ahead and fall already. There we go. Oh no, I'm going to die. Aha, splat. Now. Yeah, my PC does get loud. Alright, now let's keep going. We're going through Horseshoe Canyon now, so we're going to have to deal with Albertosaurus as we go through Horseshoe Canyon in the updated version of the game, because there's going to be AI spawn points everywhere. So you think you're going to get through this canyon without being attacked? You got another thing coming. Oh, look. There was another way to go. That wasn't it. There's more canyon. This canyon's huge. What the heck? Somebody should have stopped me. Alright. Can I walk around the perimeter of this? I think I can. Yep. Now, I'm not even where I'm trying to go yet, and I'm already out of water. So, I'm just going to keep going until I die. And I don't have long left because it takes out 10% of your health for every tick that you are starving or dehydrated. This is at 20 times speed. And I died of fall damage. Or was that the health? I didn't see what happened first. But, you see, I made it all the way here from the top of that mountain, which means I was like 80% of the way there. But that's at 20 times speed. Ooh, I didn't know that this part had already grown some vegetation. Yes, it'll make it far less boring, and there will be more entertainment along the way. Ooh, I like this area. With the redwood trees, that looks a lot more natural. And it helps distinguish it from Hell Creek, because Dinosaur Provincial Park really didn't feel that different from Hell Creek. It's just like a higher up version of Hell Creek. Maybe I'll find a different version of the redwood and put it here. But we'll see. And this is with just one type of tree, so. The northern hemisphere will have more redwoods like this. The southern hemisphere won't, but the trees are placed naturally based on the elevation. So because we're so high up above sea level, these are the trees I chose for this terrain, whereas the closer you get to it, it becomes way more tropical looking. One thing I want to bring back are those fog systems. let me try that right now because I haven't done it in a long time. Let's see, is this one unbound? It is. Alright, I'll try it on this. There was a fog system I used to use in Pangea. And I want to see if it's still even present. Or if I'm going to have to do it again, make it again. You know what? I could also add a different type of fog too. I'm going to do that just because it made my other game look way more realistic and atmospheric. So I think I'm going to do that. Okay. So this is with garbage fog. A garbage fog system. Nothing's showing. Nothing cool about it. Let's try this. We'll place this down. We'll scale it up times, I don't know, 10,000. Alright. Obviously, can't see nothing. So I go back here, set the distance to like 1500. And the opacity, turn that way down. Turn the scale down. Make sure the rotation's off. Yeah, I'm going to have to do the thing I didn't want to do, which is I'm going to have to port my two-dimensional cloud system from my other game. At least something like it, because I need more realistic looking clouds, but I don't want to use volumetric clouds. So let me find my fog. My fog distance is set to 400,000. No reason on earth you should ever have your fog distance that high. Okay. Ultra. Back to this. Ultra volumetrics. So, just with this one thing dropped in the scene, it already looks like this. But that's not the look I'm going for. Now I want to add... Ah, darn. This older version doesn't have the Perlin noise. Maybe the sine wave will do what I need it to. And the fog can rise up from the ground. Future looks promising once the game's updated to more playable state. I will force other people to play it. Well, you don't have to force them, but I really appreciate that whole... Yes, I do. Because I want to get more with this done, so I'm going to push as much of the game getting attention as I can. Okay, but yeah, that's just with a little bit of... Ooh, that would be too much. You wouldn't be able to see jack squat. So if I put a system like this in there, I would have to make it where you cannot turn off volumetric fog as a feature. Because if I left it on, that as an option, then when you are in fog like this and you can't see, someone could just turn theirs off and they can see you. So that's an absolute no. But this is with low density. If you had the fog opacity really, really high, you couldn't see jack squat in this. Yes, during heavy rain, during snowstorms, sandstorms like I used to do it. But that was kind of the system I was trying to make in the past with fog. But this is just a better version of it. And it goes everywhere in the map. So as long as I scale this area up to the whole size of the map, it doesn't really have any impact on the fog, because the fog is still local to the player's camera. And of course, because of what it obscures, you really can't see, no matter where you were in the system. Okay, so that's the area size it covers outside here. So let me just do it for the whole map. So I'm going to do one that is for the whole thing. Let's do it as a square instead of a sphere. So one that goes over the whole surface area. So that means it would be 65,000 by 65,000, and the height a little lower than this, so I'll make it like 9,000. Pangea has always been somewhat performance heavy because, you know, it's not easy to render all this, but it's still lighter than a lot of things. And I don't believe in having like 100,000 triangles on a regular thing in the game and then just be like, oh, well, we'll just optimize it in game. It's like, I believe in an optimized workflow. Alright, so the only thing is I have to scale the opacity based on the size. Or I could just change these. Or reduce them even further. So obviously you don't want that much fog. You never want that much. But for the base fog in the entire game, this might be a good amount. And then you put dense fog in places that would get them. There is another way to do it, which is distance fields. Increase the distance field height and contrast. I want this fog to rise up off of the ground, so I need some ground to check it on. But it needs to have a much shorter distance. There we go. Goes up to ×2. Hmm. 2,000 by 3,000. Let's see. There we go. Now let's see how that looks. Obviously, it's going to look really ugly on the trees. Maybe during, like, eruptions or floods or something. Increases the yeah, that might be a thing. I really need to figure out a way to keep it from doing this on trees. But this is a good blend for right now. I thought I'd mentioned that before, but if I hadn't, there will be eruptions like in that volcano over there and stuff that can take out an entire region if they're not, careful. Now I know that this stuff can cause a hit to performance, so I'm going to use it wisely. Well, the first time I started using it, it wasn't very wise how I was using it, but I've got better plans for it now. So let's see. If we wanted to create a part of the forest that was shrouded in fog, you could just create a sphere here. Scale it up times 1,000 on each axis. Whew, this would suck. That. That might be a good use case for it. This would be really good for smoke when you're in the middle of a fire. No system is perfect, but I think that I can make some good utility out of this. Because this area isn't that big, you can get out of it. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been having in mind. It's doing more of that. Yes. Just like most documentaries do with their forest fire scenes, is you're going to be trying to escape a fire that's closing in on you in the middle of all this crazy amount of smoke and not being able to see much anything. And then imagine if it's dark. But I still wanted to try my other system, which was post-process fog. It was in this folder, but this wasn't the fog. I think this might have been it. Nah, this is the wrong color. I think this is it. Or it's this one. that the further you go into a deep forest, the more it becomes like this. But the sky is totally black, so I don't know about that one. Maybe... What's the difference between this one and this one? This one looks a little more realistic. What about this one? The only thing I don't like about these is how they blend on and off. It's garbo. But I could probably fix that. Now that I actually know the systems that are working here, I could almost certainly fix that. Yeah, I think I would have that area be orange, but this area would be just darker. I could probably do that off stream. That's probably an easy thing to set up for material. But I think this is the one I used long ago when I was testing the system. But that is something I want to do, so gonna have to get that set up too. Don't break something, Jewel. Now that she's heard her name called, she's gonna try and get out of that basket. Alright. I love playing as Styracosaurus. I feel like it feels normal and natural. Fighting against them as AI also feels normal. I like that it has a bite attack and a horn that throws up opponents into the air. I might have to make this fog brighter some kind of way, because it's really gray. Is it the self-shadow amount? I don't think it's that. Maybe it's something in the fog itself. I think the fog is just too dark in general. I think that's better. It's a little too bright. Yeah, we'll see how that looks. My favorite playables, Utah, Carno, Epanterius, Pachycephalosaurus, and Styracosaurus. Styraco is definitely one of my favorite herbivores because it just looks cool. It if I was a fantasy character and I had a shield, I'd want it to look like a Styracosaurus. I know that's impractical, but who cares? It's a fantasy series. Something like Monster Hunter. Alright, now I want to brighten up the sky a bit. The sky is dark. Now that overall intensity is not what I want. Definitely a little more saturation and a little more contrast. Let's try a nighttime playthrough. Oh, I can't see jack squat. Yeah, it would be a sync thing. Ugh, broken night vision. I feel like the landscape is supposed to have something to prevent the clipping. Let me check real quick. Okay. Did not mean to click that. Do not crash. Do not crash. Do not crash. Looks like I won't sit here for a second. Maybe I can go back to some Blender work. The ePen needs new animations anyway. Sure is taking his time. Trying to remember what else has animations that need to be worked on. Utah needs a sniffing animation, and then every other dinosaur after that, because Utah is the base. Okay, so you need some eating animations. Is this the eating animation, or is there a different one? With a different name. I think it's this one. Okay, this needs to be fixed. Okay. Bookended? Yes, they all do, because I don't think any of them besides Giga have sitting animations. Alright, so now to fix the feet, which would be the obvious. The feet, in this case, well, first of all, get rid of this extra stuff. The feet, in this case, can just have all their keys deleted after a certain point. That's the first thing. Already looks a lot better. Now to fix this. exaggerated, but not too far outside of what we've already been doing. Okay. This extreme pose here. Right here, there's some stuff wrong here. Much better. Thank you. That's just 12 years of experience. The key is to just look at the curves as 3D movements and try to understand them that way. Let's fix that. That's better. I can use that. This one could probably go further back. And higher up. Let's make sure this doesn't skip. There was a quick transition here. It goes back pretty quickly. That's better. Yes, I did make these movements from scratch. When you do everything alone, it looks, you fix it really quick. I don't know why they take as much time as they do. Probably because they actually have a production schedule that's very different than the way I work on stuff. I don't know how they choose to work about stuff, but this is just what I do in my free time. It's what I've done with my free time since I was pretty young. Because it's what I enjoy. I don't know why you had to go back that far, but you did not have to lean back that far, Epan. Okay, and you didn't have to lean back that far that time either. maybe he just went too high up. A little down, plus a little forward. I'll fix the foot instead. And now it's just these ankles. I think that one's fine. This one isn't. Straighten that leg out. Some more. Some more. Some more. Alright, Epan will have an eating animation, even if it still needs some more work, especially with those arms. Let's fix that. I'll do that for now. That's better. Alright, did Unreal Engine clear up? Okay. Get rid of that. Alright, this is what I wanted to check. Render custom depth pass. Now I might have to see which one it has to be set to in order to block stuff, but it'll help block the ocean beneath. That pose is pretty extreme. But Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Epan eating. Do we have a drinking animation already? No. So let's get a drinking animation. And bookend it with the right idle poses. Get rid of all the bones we don't need. And then from here, looks pretty solid. Still needs some work. Maybe this can go up a little more. Up. Stop breaking stuff, Jewel. Then I'll pull back the head on this one. Well, great having you here, J-Dink. Yeah, I hope you are looking forward to it, because there's a lot more to come. Appreciate you being on the stream. Alright, I got to check out this water thing again and make sure how it looks. That's so much better. So much better. Yeah. But at least the night vision works here. Let's see it in an actual forest at nighttime. Pretty short range, but I think stuff like Utah has the better range for night vision. Yeah. He's a tumbling. See how long it takes him to get down the hill. He's still going. Oh well. I think nighttime can get a little brighter. Like, there's no reason it has to be this dark, even with night vision, to help you see things. It doesn't have to be like uncomfortably dark where you're like, I see shapes but they don't make sense. I think night can be brighter. Now, we're not going to do that. We're not even going to do that. But we might do like 1.25. Maybe 1.5. Seeing at night is not a bad thing in all games. This should be for like caves, which can be much darker. The moon's not bright enough. I'll increase the moon intensity and turn down the night. that should be better. No latch spots on the Maya, so I'm just down here. And I fell through the map because I didn't have any latch spots on the Maya. And if the underworld was in yet, I would be falling straight to the underworld. I guess that's the next thing I can work on is like what areas are going to have underworld entrances. Seriously, this type of fog is too dense. It doesn't need to be 0.2, but it doesn't need to be 0.9. So let's do 0.5 because it is a little ridiculous. Maybe increase the density. There we go. I think that's a little more tolerable. But I will have to change how the fog looks like in this desert, because why is the fog white? The fog should be the ground fog. It should be the color of the environment around it. That would be better. Maybe a sandstorm or something. No, I worked on that like probably a decade ago, but no. Um, Braden makes all of our models, and he does a really really good job. Um, I think I really like their Anato, but I don't think any of the other dinosaur designs really stand out crazy to me. Like above other games. Or they call it Montosaurus agnectans. Yeah, that's why I need fog planes. Let me see what I got. What do I have in terms of cloud textures? Because I could rig this up in like a few minutes, but with a proper panning material, maybe not. But I just want to see. I just want to see what cloud textures I have. I don't really have good ones here. I have better ones in my other game, which is probably where I'm going to end up porting it from. So unless there's a fog one. There is a cloud texture somewhere in here. Yeah, I think I changed that animation. I just haven't done it in engine yet. There is an asset in this game that does what I'm thinking of, and I'm forgetting something about its name. So I'm going to look for it real quick. Here it is, Desert Steam. It might just be a Steam asset. Let's see. Digging through it now, it's just loading kind of slow. The material, cloud particle. Let's see. It's loading kind of slow. Back to Bunda. EPAN will need some laying down animations. So let's just go ahead and port those from this guy. I think I did it pretty quick before. Oh gosh, that's so terrible. That's garbo. I fix. It's still frozen. Okay, well, animation time it is. texture is this sky cloud texture. So I just need to examine this. That's really not how you do a cloud transition anymore, but okay. Alright, I think I know what to do. I'm going to make a new material for this, so that way I don't have to work on something else right now. So I'm just going to duplicate this and call it cloud instance. It's not an instance, but it's for instancing. Alright, so now get it ready for it to not be a particle. Vector, parameter, color, and yeah, I could just plug the alpha in. This is not how we do this anymore. We do camera depth fade. Or, let me make sure it's in here. Camera depth fade, yeah. So rather than that, do this, and then this. Yeah, it's starting to load kind of slow. Let it do its thing. Every time it takes its time doing that, I go back to the animation. Let's fix this terrible pose. Like, terrible. Yeah, that just points out what needs to be fixed in the weight painting. Yeah. Alright. Now, I need to add this to the Ultra Volumetrics blueprint. in construction script, I want a mesh, simple plane. Taking its time as usual. Alright, I can see them. These are the cloud planes. Here we go. We create some logic. Has cloud plane, defaults to false. And we put this at the top of this list. Has cloud plane if has cloud plane is true. We will go through our logic. If not, we will destroy component. Okay. So create dynamic material instance. We don't need to save it from here just yet. Set scalar parameter value. And then set vector parameter value. The only vector parameter we're concerned about is color, so this should actually go first. I'll just call it cloud color, not cluller. Alright, keep going, and then we have appear distance, fade transition, and brightness. Alright, now we make this a variable, appear distance. We'll call it fade distance. That's ridiculous. Fade offset and brightness. Default value for brightness is 2. The default value for fade offset 5,000. Default value for fade distance 30. Alright, now has cloud plane has to be true. Let's turn off fog so we can actually see this work. The color has to be something. Alright. Now it fades when you get too close. So let's set this something higher than 30,000, like offset is 30,000. And then these need to be visible. Yeah, that'll work until I can get it, facing the camera in the next stream. At the very least, it'll work towards indicating where these things are going to be. But I still need the camera rotation thing. The billboarding. I think I know how I'm going to do this the next time around. It's just early setup for it. Looks okay. Just so I know where all the parts of the map are that are going to be shrouded in fog. But yeah, that's about the best I can do without closing this project and opening another one. To port my cloud system. It might be nice. It might be nice. Okay. I made this a little brighter. There we go. And then made this times 2. Yeah, I think I'm going to like the way that this is going. But these trees, oh my gosh, I have to get rid of them. They're like horribly unoptimized, and I'm not even sure when exactly they got modified to be this bad, but they didn't start off this way. And oh darn, I fell in the water, so now I can't get my mesh back. Why am I so far away from everything? Okay, that was crazy. climbing's broken. Hooray! Like, is it just... It's just struggling to climb in general. And then once you get past that lower threshold, it's like, oh, okay, I can do it now. And I'm falling. There's so much more to do. But I think this takes us a good amount of distance for this stream, especially. Whew. I wonder if I can make... actually no stamina. They will have a timer, though, that tells them to give up on a chase. Or herbivores certainly will. I wonder if I could reduce Deinosuchus's threat meter the slower it moves. So things don't think that it's going to get him. And then he just... he launches out. Oh, you want the smoke? Get eaten. is too. Almost had him if I had waited another second. They're going to want to get back to their leader. Gotcha. Ah. I need one more bite because he's health boosted. That would be in Fahrenheit. Back to their leader, but I'm gonna snack them up. I gotta hide. I actually have to ambush them or I'm not gonna grab one. Where'd he go? Bruh. Seriously. Okay, if I hadn't gotten him around the tail, I need a thrashing attack for Dinosuchus. Because that would have worked. Oh, you weren't paying attention. I could probably eat a regular size Maya in one bite. It's over. No! No! And you got stuck. Just in time for me. Eaten. But that was not very practical. If it had been for this crazy rugged terrain that allowed me to hide and the fact that there's still some broken parts where they get stuck, I never would have caught him. What should a Majunga hunt? In this group. Not its actual prey. Let's do Centrosaurus. 2 of them. See if I can take one down. Good. I can't get a good hit. Not without trading. That was close. So am I. Oh, I reach in some. Oh! That's not easy. I wonder if he had any boost. Ah, he was health boosted. That makes sense. Oh, I forgot. He has a ramming attack. a lot slower though. That's gotta change. Let's do Majunga versus a Utah pack. Come on. Where is it? I might have used my roar way too early. What? Did he just pounce in the air? Oh boy, the damage boost to Utah's gonna give me trouble. Where did you go? You know, that's really not fair. They need to spawn in a bigger cluster. It's not fair to them for me to just separate them like that. Make sure the pack sticks together. Oh, I only spawned 2. I meant to spawn 4. They're going to stick with their pack leader. When they start to get too far away, you'll see that they'll go to their pack leader. That one did. That one's coming back to the pack leader. Now that one is. So if I try to separate the pack leader, they'll all come after me. I did scare them. Yeah, get out of here. Come on. I cannot turn around in time. with an E-Pan with only one attack, can he beat a pack of, let's say, 5 Utahs? An E-Pan with one attack. Definitely has a higher aggression than them. Certainly than the Junga. They might just run. Can an E-Pan catch them? They run 1 mile an hour faster. Did I separate the pack leader? I used my rower too soon. They're going to fight back. Oh, no, they didn't. This went well. Check that and see if they keep coming back. They do. I killed their leader. It was great having you here. Appreciate you. Yeah, get some sleep. That's really late your time. So I need to update the skin weights for the E-Pan and add a vertex mask. So I'll do that and then I'll sign off because it's getting late my time. Alright, let's see how that looks. Sorry, when I get to weight painting, I just get quiet and focus. That looks a lot better. Alright, so this and these animations plus the vertex bleeding mask. There we go. Alright. Export the model again. And then the animations that come with it. Or the new animations I just did. Go. Re-import. Replace vertex colors. Yep, that should be it. Now this time when I take damage, it should only affect those red spots that I painted. Okay, so half of them are too scared to fight back, and then these are the two tough guys that are just strong enough to take me on. Gave up. Now that I'm getting weaker, they might actually come get me. Spots now, which is what needed to happen. I mean, the health boosted ones are attacking me, so how long until the rest of them think they view me as a target? Now that I'm weak, the weaker Utahs are joining in. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. They all see me now as easy pickings. And there you go. Now, I could make that kick in a lot sooner so that when you're like at half health, you drop a significant amount of aggression points or threat level points. But yeah. Let's see what the other skins look like with damage. I should be able to do this just by... a little higher. Oh, I can't even fix the model after I take that much damage. The bloody spots are too pink. So let's fix that. Way too pink. A little better. Oh, I'm not even showing y'all what I'm doing. That looks good enough. Maybe turn down the meat scale to right here. There. Boosted Utah wants to fight me. I mean, that's what his role is in the pack, is he's a fighter. He's the brute. I need to get AI Utah's able to latch. Not the speed boosted Utah attacking me. Go next. I love the C-Pan so much. It just looks so cool. This, even more than the most famous skin, this might be my favorite skin. Let's see, what's a Jurassic animal I want to fight against? Ceratops. Three of them. Is this a speed boosted one? I think so. I can't catch him. He's fighting back. They do a good amount of damage with that nose horn. E-Pan's technique is going to come in handy. One last one, I guess, with khakis. That's a fun fight. Only the aggressive Packy stayed and fought. Forced him onto the defensive. Dang, Aloe could pick up a Packy. No problem. I want to see how long it takes before the red one gets scared of me. He's still doing his job, protecting. Or trying to. Now let's try this. Once he's on his own, then he gets scared. So you have to get the Packy herd down to 1 before a Packy is scared of an E-Pan. Or a rage boosted Packy. That's nice. I like that. This one has the most variety in how its skins look when changing colors. Feels good day one. So I think I'm gonna call a stream there. I did some pretty good stuff. Fog system, some updates on the AI, started work on the desert climate, some of what is this formation called again? Tendaguru formation. This one's gonna be rough right here. This is gonna be rough. Didn't add any extra sky islands, which I kind of wanted to. But we'll get this world shaped out and then start on the underworld using this as the template. But none of this, where it's just like flat walls with these weird. Yeah, none of that. I want to do it better. Like maybe like right here where it actually looks like a cool plateau sort of thing, but not just this. It's got to be better. Obviously, this has to go. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for tonight. There's a lot more work to do, but a lot of good work is already being done. And then after that, after the map work, then we start putting all the individual actors and actor spawners in the world, and then start working on collectibles of things you get in the map. And that will be it. So, appreciate everybody joining the stream. Hope everybody had a good time. If you like the content, I hope you like and subscribe for more of it. To either my channel or Pangea's Survivals channel, because I'll be doing this streaming a lot more on Pangea's channel, and then I will be streaming more of different content and uploading more different content on my personal channel. So if you like what you saw, I hope you will follow. It really helps me out, and I appreciate it a bunch. So yeah, that's going to be it for tonight, and everybody have a good night.